Okay, so like always, I'm just going to start with a circle. Then I'm going to define my circle better. Then I'm going to draw my two midlines. And then I'm just going to draw my two boxes for the eyes. And for that, my symmetry line will be really helpful to have good proportions, since all I have to do is to keep the same distance from that line. Okay, now that I'm done with the eyes, I'm just going to move to the jawline, and the end point will be here, since this distance is going to be a little bit smaller than this one. Then I'm going to add another guideline here for the point where the jawline change direction. So this is gonna be the first point, and the second one will be here. Now the rest is really easy, since all I have to do is to connect these points together. Don't forget to be light with your pencil during this step, because you don't want to see any pencil trace if you make a mistake and need to erase that. I'm just doing the same thing with this part. Okay, then I'm just going to add two lines here for the neck. Now I'm going to draw the ears, and as always, I'm going to draw some guidelines for that. I'm also going to add another line here for the top of his head. And now that the structure is done, I'm finally ready to start to define all the lines better. So I'm starting with the eyes, as always. Then I'm doing the same thing with the other side. And at this point, all I need to do is to make them look as similar as possible to each other's. Okay, I'm also going to add two lines on the top for the eyebrows, and I'm just drawing a guideline so they will have the same exact height. Then I'm moving on into the nose and mouth. Then I'm moving on into the jawline, and all I have to do here is to make the lines look more curvy. I'm also going to define the line of the top of the head. Don't hesitate to use your eraser whenever you need to. Okay, then I'm moving on into the ears. And I'm just trying to follow the same shape of the reference. I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. I'm moving on into the neck. As you can see, Saitama's neck is not really thick. And now it's finally time to draw our ears, and I'm going to start by drawing two midlines in the two eyes. And then I'm just going to place two little circles. And then I'm just going to draw some of his clothes. As I already said here, your lines don't have to be really identical to your reference, so just go easy on it. Okay, now that the sketch is ready, I'm going to line my drawing, and I think that I'm going to opt for a mixed technique. I'm just moving on to the other ear, and during this step, do take your time and try to make your lines look as perfect as possible. It's finally time for the shading, and I'm just going to start by limiting all the different parts. Even during this step, you don't have to be really identical to your reference, so it's okay if your lines don't look perfectly the same. Hello everyone, I have some exciting news. So if you're just like me and have two passions, anime and drawing, but don't know where to start, then my anime drawing course for beginners will be perfect for you. I will guide you through all the process from the sketching part to the shading one, trying to simplify things as much as possible. So it can also be perfect for totally beginners who have never had any experience with drawing. The course will be divided into different modules with different topics, starting from the basics. For example, how to hold your pencil, how to improve your line quality, how to line, how to shade with different techniques, and a lot of other things. So if you're interested, just click down below to be the first one to be notified once the course is released and get special discount. I'm also going to color the two buttons. Okay, at this point, I'm taking my 0.1 liner and I'm going to start shading all the parts that I have signed. At this point, just be patient and try to draw your lines as straight as possible. Okay, now that the first layer is done, I can move into the second one to make some parts darker than the others. For the shading, I'm simply using hatching just like the reference, but maybe later I'll be using cross hatching too. I'm also going to add another layer here. And as you can see, I'm just keep adding some layers until I reach the wanted result. I'm opting for something a little bit different from the reference and I'm going to make this part a little bit darker. Okay, as you can see, this part, it looks darker than the reference, but I really like the effect. This is why I opted for that. Okay, at this point, I'm going to shade the clothes. Okay, now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to take my B pencil and shade some parts of the drawing that are not supposed to be really dark, like these ones. I'm going to start, for example, with this part, and I'm going to be really light with my pencil. And as always, I'm just going to make my corners a little bit darker. Okay, so this is the final result and it's a little bit different from the reference, but it's okay since I added a lot of contrast because I really love shading.